Well, tonight in the First Alert Center, lawyers representing the former Hardin Valley student accused and arrested of trespassing at all three schools there of responding to the allegations. Zain Madadali was arrested and charged, accused of entering Hardin Valley Academy, middle and elementary schools on March 16th without the consent of staff, despite being buzzed in by the front desk. Madadali facing 3 counts of aggravated criminal trespass and another 3 counts of improperly being on school grounds. Officials say he walked around the academy for an hour, going into several classrooms, talking with staff. Deputies say he then went to the middle school and was told he couldn't talk with staff, so he went to the elementary school. Madadali is a student at Auburn and was arrested in Alabama. He now faces misdemeanor charges. The Karani law firm says Madadali is a student at Auburn. He secured an internship at one of the Big 4 CPA firms. He's a graduate of all the schools at Hardin Valley. We're told he wanted to come back to reconnect with his former teachers and share updates on his progress. His attorney says his client did not intend to violate school policy or cause alarm, disruptions, or disrupt school operations. He calls this a, quote, visitor protocol issue, not a threat case. The lawyer is challenging both the basis for the charges, even the accuracy of the underlying warrant, which says his client graduated from Hardin Valley Academy in 2004, even though the school didn't even open until 2008. Madadali is scheduled to appear in court tomorrow morning. Remember, he was extradited from Alabama back here to Knoxville. The 20-year-old has no known criminal history.
All right, Harry.